This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. How you doing, my man? You doing all right?
Doing good. Oh, how are you?
Excellent. Crypto bouncing back, waiting for the feds tomorrow. I'm in Mobile, Alabama. How about
Senior
you?
Bowl.
Yes, sir. It's Senior Bowl time. Where are you at? St. Augustine or you're at home? It looks like you're home.
I'm back home in Pembroke Pines. Yeah, I'm just working on a lot of different stories for The Athletic and got my head in a lot of different places. But hey, man, I enjoy when I can refocus and just talk with you, brother, to be honest.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you very much. My wife doesn't even say that. So that's very kind of you. All right, so let's get into it. What's the latest right now going on with any other coaching changes going on?
Well, we'll see if there's any more changes. I mean, I think right now the two main ones obviously are offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, and then obviously they're going to switch it now to receivers coach. I think with their next hire, whoever comes in as coordinator will be quarterbacks coach. But look, I've checked. I don't have any new information as far as how much further along we are in the process of nailing somebody down. I think Mario has been looking into this obviously for a while. And I'm not sure that the guys that he really has at the top of his list have come available to him or have said to him they're interested. And I think he's just holding out, hoping to get somebody that he really wants for this job. I think he's looked at a lot of different names and he's looked at a lot of different people, but obviously it's an important hire. And I think whoever the next offensive coordinator is in Miami probably gets a chance to pick who the receivers coach is, or at least have some serious input with it.
Is it a free agent? Or is he trying to possibly take somebody from an established program already that is under contract?
Yeah, I mean, I think that those are definitely possibilities. I mean, I think when you look at what happened last year and the guys that he interviewed and really had at the top of his list, they were all with other programs, they were all with other teams, they weren't necessarily free agents. So I think had it been a free agent, this probably would have been resolved a long time ago.
That's what I mean. Exactly.
Yeah. I think this is more about, maybe that other guy finishing a contract, maybe that other guy deciding this is where he really wants to go. I know Miami.
Walk us through that, because I'm a little ignorant in that sense. Yeah. Because obviously in the NFL, you would have to give up compensation or something like that. And they have you. So what happens in college football if some guy wants to leave, whatever, Tulane, and he had a great offense there, and Mario loves his offense and loves his his mind and all that, but this guy's under contract. He's got 2 more years left. How does the University of Miami steal a coach like that, and how does a coach get out of a contract like that?
Well, it's all based on the written language in each of those individual contracts. Usually the way a lot of contracts are written, schools that end up hiring that coach away from another program have to sort of pay whatever it is that he owes them, right? Whatever is left in that contract. So they'll cover those expenses, and then the coach will come over. Sometimes contractually, the coach just wants.
Mario's flying around in a helicopter. There's no more budgets anymore, bro.
Well, no
budget. What's budget? I heard Mario burns $100 bills when he walks out of the helicopter. Just lights him up and shows people.
Miami is still being run by a lot of people who are very budget conscious. Even if they are investing in football, they're still run by the same people who for a long time were penny pinching. I think.
Well, they're not penny pinching anymore, bro. They ain't I know UM football used to be the dollar store,
right?
But, now it's like Saks Fifth Avenue now, bro. I mean,
Oh, there's no question the philosophy has changed. But my whole point is it's still the same mentality, right? Like, hey, if we could wait till whatever date to save X amount of money, that's what we'll do. They're not going to be run by a bunch of wild men just throwing money all over the place. I think there's responsibility, fiscal responsibility, and all that. And so, look, I honestly, does Mario really have his mind made up? From my understanding, the answer is no. I don't think he really does. I think there's probably several options that he's looking at to fill that position. Is there a pecking order? Is there a list, right? I want this guy first. I want this guy second. I want this guy third. Yeah, I think every head coach does that.
And it doesn't benefit him one bit to allow any of those names to get out. And that's why a dude like you can't even – maybe you do know something, but you can't say it. even if you did know, because that doesn't benefit him. If he's trying to take a coach from an active program right now and the guy's working, the last thing they need to do is hear reports about him going there to take that person. That would be insult to injury on top of everything. So there's a lot of dynamics in play right here, right?
Yeah, of course. And again, I think, you look at Mario's process last year, and Bruce Feldman and I wrote about it in an extensive story for The Athletic last year after he made the first couple hires. Like he went through a long process of talking to people, and then he also, in the end, Gaddis really wasn't his first choice. I don't even know if he was number 2 or 3. It was sort of like it just went through this pecking order of waiting and waiting and waiting. And certain, it worked out in the end. They ended up getting the Broyles Award winner, who they felt really good about. Obviously things didn't work out on the field, but to them it was a great hire, right? It was getting the Broyles Award winner from a team that had just made the playoffs. So from that perspective, they felt like it was the right approach. So I think in this approach, again, spring football doesn't start until March 4th. You've got plenty of time, in my mind, to bring that coordinator in, have him sit in a few meetings before you take the football field. So, I mean, this could probably push into mid-February if they wanted to be more patient and bide more time to make the right choice. In the end, I think it'll happen in the next week or two, but I just don't know how far along in the process they really are.
All right, yeah, and that's well. I hope he gets his first choice, because if he settled for his second or third, that didn't work out too well the first go around. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully.
Well, I mean, sometimes coaches, they'll tell you, they'll go through the process, and then they'll decide at the last minute, nope, I'm staying where I'm at. Nope, I got the money I wanted where I'm at. They're meeting that financial need here. I got my raise here. Why do I need to go there? And the one thing I'll tell Miami fans who, we always look through it orange and green glasses, right? This isn't exactly a sexy job. You're taking it's a lot of pressure. Yes, you have Tyler Van Dyke. He's banged up, coming off a shoulder injury, and you don't have a number 1 receiver, and you don't have an experienced offensive line. You're gonna be playing some freshmen in this group, some true freshmen. Yes, Mario's a great recruiter. He's also extremely freaking demanding. So all of those reasons, you say to yourself, well, why is this taking so long? Well, the other guy has to want to be, want in as well. And I know they're all mercenaries and this and that, but if you make the wrong move in today's game, like Josh Gaddis apparently did, that can affect you. That can affect you. Even if you win the Broyles Award, you have one bad year at a place like Miami. Who knows what your future holds? So I think this is a two-way street in terms of not only just who does Mario want, but who really actually wants the job.
Well, give me some names. Give me a name or 2 or 3 here. I know you wrote about it, so
yeah. I mean,
Coley and who else?
Well, James Coley, I think, is the most obvious because of the situation he has at Texas A&M, where they've brought in Bobby Petrino to be the offensive coordinator, and at some point he could always say, "Hey, I'd want to bring my own guy in, get rid of Coley." Coley's been with Jimbo obviously for a long, long time, and so to me it makes sense just from that perspective. One name that surfaced in some conversations I had the other day, Joe Moorhead, who I think is the head coach now at Akron. Last year Mario tried to get Jason Candle, who's the head coach at Toledo, to leave a head coaching job to come be coordinator. I think Moorhead,
like I said, there is no budget anymore. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just saying. Wait, but I'm a head coach. Yeah, but I got a lot of money for you to be the OC. Come on over.
It's all built on relationships and whether or not they can use that. Like Moorhead, who was with Mario at Oregon, he's a guy who I think if you told him, hey, come get the Alabama job, he'd probably go and do that. Now Miami, it's a different. Again, that's where I talk about how good of a job really is it. Where is it going to springboard you? And I think there's a little bit of apprehension, with some guys.
Oh, that's not fair. I think this has always been a place that springboarded people.
Well, when they're great,
head coach,
not when they're 5-7.
No, I know. Well, okay, but I guess I have faith that Mario will turn this thing around, dude.
Well, I do too. I think eventually he's going to get there. But where is he along in the process? Like,
he's far behind right now.
And that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to express to you is that when guys look at this job, you have to look at it. Well, where is it right now? Right? Where is it going to be after 2023? And does that get me to where I want to go in 2024? And so I think you have to remember all of these guys are looking for the best scenario for their careers to help push them in a better direction. I think Josh Gaddis took this job last year with the intention of being a head coach by 2024. What happened to him? He had a terrible year and lost his job, and now who knows where he ends up. But the point is like this can be a scenario where if you don't have a good year in 2023, you could set yourself back. And so that's why I'm trying to make our listeners conscious of the fact that this isn't an extremely sexy job right now.
No, you're right. That makes all the sense in the world that it's not a sexy job at the moment because you still have a lot to build. Right. With this team. So, yeah, that is true. All right. I always ask you about the recruiting front every time you're on because I never know what the hell's involved here. And he's always trying to fish for new guys on the portal and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, Dennis Smith, who's Miami's recruiting coordinator, working close hand in hand with Mario Cristobal, tweeted out a picture of a mountain this weekend, and so everybody immediately, I got a bunch of text messages with this tweet saying, "What the hell does he mean?" And my guess is Miami's probably adding another recruit tomorrow. I know that they hosted a defensive tackle from the Chicago area this past weekend, a 3-star. He's not Leonard Taylor or Vince Wilfork or anything of that nature, but he's a guy that they like, a guy that they brought in that's a Division I FBS player, and again, that's a position of need. A cornerback, defensive tackle, wide receiver. Those are areas that, again, through the transfer portal or through recruiting, I think Miami could add a piece here and there in the weeks and months ahead. And so tomorrow we may end up getting that announcement from the defensive tackle.
All right. I like it. All right. What else are you working on?
Well, we're preparing for tomorrow's roundtable. I'm working on a Jaden Rashada story. I'm doing a ACC roundtable, an SEC roundtable, a Big Ten roundtable where we talk a bunch of recruiting and I give my analysis and thoughts on all of that. So lot of signing day, sort of wrap up coverage heading into spring football, from a conference perspective. I know all of us down here are so focused on the Hurricanes, we don't really pay a lot of attention to everybody else, but it's important what goes on in the ACC. And, I think Miami, this is one of the stats I threw into the ACC roundtable, but 12 of the top 21 players signed by ACC schools this year are headed to Miami. And that's a big feather in Mario's cap. You talk about winning the recruiting, that's something Clemson.
You'll be fine, bro.
I mean, eventually the players are going to become what they need to become, but that's a change where Clemson and Florida State for a long time had been, sort of in that perch where they were signing the most, the top recruits in the conference. So 12 out of 21 is a pretty good number for Mario. I think 6 others ended up going to Clemson and 3 to Florida State. So you break it down, it's, you're beating your rivals significantly in that respect in terms of the top players coming into the conference. So
I just feel we got to compartmentalize things because I get it. Last year was horrible. The worst year I've ever seen for the Canes, and unfortunately Mario owns it. But one of the reasons why I'm so confident with Mario is that eventually he knows that the way you win is in the line of scrimmage, O-line and D-line. And that's what I see is developing, that he's going to find a way to beef up those two lines. And if you do that and you control it, you're going to have an opportunity to compete with anybody and every. If you ever want to get to the point where you want to compete with Georgia and Alabama and Ohio State and now Florida State's getting there and all that, brother, you better dominate the lines. That's the only way. And then that will make life easier on everybody else on the perimeter. I don't care if it's your linebackers, your corners, or your quarterbacks, or receivers, or running backs. Their lives are a lot easier when those big boys up front are dominating. And that's what I'm seeing in the recruiting, that's what's changing. The size of these individuals, the stars next to them, all that kind of stuff. I think that's a real positive. Does he have to convince me on the offensive side? He's already having kind of offensive issues. This is the one knock on him that is legit. That, okay, are you going to have the kind of offense you need in order to succeed here? And what I mean is you can't go just dominating on the run game. You're going to have to get some chunk plays along the way. So hopefully they have that kind of passing game too.
Yeah, they really need that. If you look at Florida State's success this past season, They were something like a ridiculous plus 45 in the explosive play category compared to how much they gave up. It was one of the best in the country.
Look at your quarterback. That's what it is.
You had a kid in Jordan Travis who's an excellent college quarterback, the kind of guy that can lead you to a lot of wins and make a lot of plays. And that's why Florida State, so many people are very high on them. I don't know if Florida State's a playoff team. I think some people in the national media think they could be. I don't know that they're there yet with Coach Norvell. But
slim shot, but, man, they look good.
I definitely think they're a top 15 program this year, a team that probably wins 10 or 11 games and is right there. So, but still, I mean,
quarterback will be up for the Heisman. That he will be.
Well, he probably will be if Florida State beats LSU in week 1 and beats Clemson in week 4. I mean, they've got 2 major challenges the first month of the season, but they get past those.
If they get past Clemson too, I think you got to put that kid in the Heisman talk. But the way he played last year, the improvement he's made, and we talked about it on the gridiron several times. Mm-hmm. You got to give him a lot of credit that kid has gotten better and better every year.
Just kind of like De'Aaron King. He's very similar in that regard. I think a great college quarterback, a guy who can make plays with his legs and is a good leader.
Yeah.
All of those intangibles, that's what they've got there. So, but again, as far as Miami's concerned, get that big-time wide receiver. I think that's still a big need here before the season, and see if you can get a little bit more depth at corner and D tackle. If they do those things, then I think they're in better shape than they are right now. I still think they're probably a 7-win team next year. Oh,
all right. Yeah, that's need to get more than that, but I understand because we're still in transition. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work there at The Athletic. Better yet, subscribe like I and many others do. And, of course, go to Canes Wear. They got anything and everything with the Canes logo. You can buy Dolphin gear, Marlins gear, Panthers gear, Inter Miami gear, Heat gear. They got all kinds of killer hats, different colors. And not normally your team colors. They kind of switch it up, those kind of caps. They've got a lot of those. And I showed you that Dolphin cap that I just recently got on. That Dolphin cap is absolutely awesome. They got these new Canes hats that are just fantastic. William Quigley, the owner of Cutter's Edge, he bought one the other day there at Caneswear when he was there with me. So go to Caneswear, 2511 South University Drive in Davie. And if you order over $99, you will get free shipping anywhere in the country. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up on Friday.
All right. Oh, take care, brother. Thank
you. There you go. The great Manny Navarro and our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.